Welcome to another Unscrewed Mind podcast highlight. This episode is all about side effects of a spiritual awakening. And Rusty and I talk a lot about how our sleep patterns have been affected. So I thought today would be a good day to take some time out and give you some tips and tricks for improving your sleep patterns and getting a better night's sleep. Tip number 1, get some exposure to natural sunlight. This is all about your circadian rhythm. You can Google that if you're not 100% sure what it is, but exposing yourself to sunlight helps keep your circadian rhythm in balance and tells your body, now is when I need to be awake. And so later on when it gets dark, now is when I need to get some sleep. Getting some exposure to natural sunlight is going to help with that process. Tip number 2, turn off the electronic devices. I know you've heard that before, but right before bed, put your phone away. Turn off the television, and if you can, do that an hour or so before bedtime because that's going to help you fall asleep faster. Tip number 3, limit your caffeine late in the day. This is a no-brainer, but if you hammer a cup of coffee a few hours before bed, more than likely you're going to have a hard time sleeping. So if you can, avoid that cup of coffee or that late caffeine push within 6 hours of bedtime. If you have to have the taste of coffee, go with a decaffeinated version, or you can go with a tea or something that's got less caffeine in it. Tip number 4, and this also seems like a no-brainer to me, avoid really long naps during the day. If you're looking to get a good 8 to 9 hours of sleep at night, sleeping for 4 hours in the middle of the day is probably going to keep you from doing that or prevent you from falling asleep as fast as you normally would. So if you're going to take a nap, take a short one. I think the science is out there that short naps are actually better and more refreshing anyway, but avoid those long naps so you can sleep at night when you really want to. Tip number 5, and I'm going to sound like an old man here, but stick to a schedule. Going to bed at the same time at night and waking up at the same time in the morning is all about that circadian rhythm, getting into a habit that your body can follow. And if you can stick to a schedule for an extended period of time, eventually you're going to get tired when you want to go to sleep and you'll be able to wake up without an alarm, which is a great way to start your day. Tip number 6, and obviously you should talk to your doctor or primary care physician before taking a supplement, but try adding melatonin to your bedtime routine. Melatonin is a hormone that your body produces in response to darkness. It can help with your circadian rhythm and also may lead to deeper, sounder sleep. I take it, works for me, so might take it because it might work for you. Tip number 7, limit alcohol consumption before bedtime and try to avoid any really large meals. The research is out there on the alcohol piece. You can look that up. As far as meals go, try not to have a large meal 3 hours before bed. If you can do that earlier and then maybe have a healthy snack before bed, it's going to do wonders for your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. Tip number 8, take a relaxing bath or shower before bed. Now, obviously, that's not part of your routine. It may be difficult to add it now. So if it's easier, you can just soak your feet in some warm water, take them out, and that's going to do wonders for helping you relax and get into that bedtime mode. Tip number 9, create an environment conducive for sleep. Make your bedroom a clutter-free zone designed for relaxation and free of distractions. Eliminate excessive light, get rid of weird random noises, turn down the thermostat because a cooler room leads to better sleep. Read a book or something before bed to help kind of set your mind at ease. Meditate if you're into that. If you've watched any of the other videos, you know that I'm into meditation. And then finally, if you just can't get your brain to relax because you're thinking about all the things you need to do the next day, take a pen and a piece of paper and write those things down. Getting them out of your brain and down on paper is a great strategy for removing that stress and anxiety about things that you're looking forward to or you have to do the next day. And, it's just a mental way to push that out of your mind so you can relax and get some sleep. Tip number 10, get some regular exercise every day. Now, obviously, you don't run a mile or two right before bed, but getting some exercise daily is good for your overall health, and it can cause or help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep, and sleep longer. That's the Unscrewed Minds 10 tips for improving the quality of your sleep. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you can be notified when future videos drop. And if you have a sleep hack that you used and works great for you, make sure you leave it in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video. And I'd done some Googling, and then you brought it up, and I was like, you know what? I really think this is going to be a perfect podcast. Is problems that appear during a spiritual awakening. And so we have some that we want to highlight, some that we want to talk about. First off, let's start with the physical ones, Rusty. What are some things, as you start to awaken to all the spiritual stuff that's out there, what are some things physically that happen to you that you may not be expecting?
Well, the funny thing is as much as we talk, which is on a daily basis, neither one of us has mentioned that we're sleeping pretty bad.
Right. But that when we started talking about it this morning, that was the first thing I mentioned. I haven't slept well in forever.
Right. And so it's something that has messed with me for several months now. And I'm not saying that I never get a good night's sleep, but if I meditate prior to going to bed, especially, it almost increases my energy to the point where I'm not in control of that energy. So, and you really can't channel energy into sleep, or if you can, I don't know how. But if now my wife, on the other hand, I mean, she can meditate and go straight into sleep. So it definitely affects every person differently. But definitely you're going to notice that you can't sleep as well once you start trying to listen to your thoughts and see what your thoughts are, I think. And then another big one is you will feel, and I've heard of different people and my wife getting a headache from it. So, you know how you'll feel the crown of your head or in the middle of your forehead, third eye, you feel those different chakras lighting up. And in some people that actually causes them to get a headache. I have not had any headaches. But like I said, she has mentioned it. Have you had any of that?
I haven't had any headaches per se, other than, kind of what I would say would be the typical amount. I haven't noticed that being a big difference. One thing, and obviously when we decide we're going to start talking about side effects of a spiritual awakening, I Googled side effects, and hopefully I don't manifest some of these in my life just because I know that they're a possibility.
That's what I was thinking.
One thing that kind of obviously I think goes hand in hand is extreme fatigue, forgetfulness, having some memory loss or a lack of concentration. I experience those things. To me, though, I feel like they're a direct result of me not sleeping well, because I get kind of in this trap where I'll kind of let my day run through my mind or what I need to do the next day. And even though I have all of these strategies for being more mindful and being more present and paying attention to my thoughts and just kind of letting them flitter away, I can't seem to do it when it's time to go to bed. And I'm not really sure kind of what the solution is. But now that I know that's sort of natural, maybe I can just feel more at ease with it and understand that at some point, maybe it's going to pass.
I just remembered something that you said that you had noticed. was that you were hearing um, like a what's the word I'm looking for? Different. You said that when you had read that when you raise your vibration, that you'll hear different frequencies. Do you remember
Yeah,
telling me
yeah,
that? And
yeah, I do.
so that's another thing that happens, and it's just crazy. It's not crazy because it's manifestation and it's you making changes, so you're physically changing as
Mm-hmm.
you mentally change. And
Right.
you can really cause yourself good or harm with this, but I think that you are definitely going to see and feel things that are not the exact way that they've always been for you.